Welcome back. We are so glad you could join us for today's deep dive. If you are a business owner, a manager, or honestly just someone who is intensely curious about how the landscape of work is fundamentally shifting,
Right.
but you are operating with a limited budget, maybe a lean staff, and you actively want to avoid massive information overload. This one is designed specifically for you.
Absolutely.
We are pulling insights from a fantastic, completely non-technical source today on how AI can help small companies grow.
Yeah, it really is a refreshing look at the topic. We're stripping away all the science fiction, all the doomsday hype, and just looking at the practical reality of what this technology can actually do for a small operation today.
Right.
It's about leveling the playing field, really.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because when you hear the phrase artificial intelligence, it is so incredibly easy to picture massive humming server farms or robots taking over the world.
Or at least a team of Silicon Valley engineers typing furiously on multiple monitors.
Yes.
Which is exactly what we need to get away from. The absolute best way to think about AI is not as a sci-fi supercomputer. It is simply a very clever digital assistant.
A digital assistant.
Right. That is the core concept you need to hold on to as we go through this. You do not need to understand how the underlying algorithms work.
Which is a relief.
It really is. You don't need to be a programmer. You don't need to be a math genius. You only need to know what this digital assistant can do for you.
And what it does really well is look at a massive pile of information. So things like your sales numbers for the last 3 years, or a mountain of customer emails, or all of your social media engagement. And it spots patterns.
Yeah.
Patterns that would take a human being hours, days, or maybe forever to notice.
Right. And once it spots those patterns, this clever digital assistant can suggest actions. It can automate the mind-numbing routine tasks.
Yeah.
Or it can handle simple jobs completely on its own. It essentially does the heavy lifting of data analysis so that you, the human, are freed up to focus on actual strategy and growth.
Which sounds amazing in theory. But I think the elephant in the room for anyone running a lean operation is the barrier to entry.
Sure.
Adopting new technology is daunting. So let's just tackle these common fears directly. Cost has to be the biggest one.
Oh, absolutely.
Are we talking about thousands of dollars a month just to get in the door with this stuff?
Not at all. That is probably the biggest misconception out there. Many of these services actually start out completely free for their basic tiers.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And even the premium paid versions usually run anywhere from just $5 to $20 per month.
That's it.
That's it. You are essentially only paying for what you use on a subscription basis. It is not some massive custom enterprise software investment where you need a server room.
Okay, but surely I need a dedicated IT person to set it up. Like, if I don't know how to code, am I just locked out of this ecosystem entirely?
No, because the vast majority of these tools are what's called no-code.
No code.
Right. If you know how to click a mouse, navigate a web browser, and type on a keyboard, you have all the technical skills required.
Wait, but if it's no code, doesn't that mean I'm stuck with whatever generic cookie-cutter templates the AI gives me? Because, I don't want my business looking exactly like my competitors down the street.
That's a very fair point, but no code doesn't mean no customization.
Okay.
The AI handles the complex database management and the logic pathways behind the scenes, but you still feed it your specific brand voice,
Right.
your specific inventory, your specific goals. You are steering the ship. The AI is just rowing.
I love that analogy. But that leads me to the next big anxiety, which is the human element. If I bring in a digital assistant that does the work of 3 people, am I essentially bringing in technology that's going to cost my current staff their jobs?
This is a really important distinction to make. AI is designed to take over repetitive, tedious tasks. Think about the soul-crushing data entry.
Ugh.
The endless copy-pasting of email addresses or formatting spreadsheets. By handing off that boring routine work to the digital assistant, your human staff is actually freed up.
To do what exactly?
To focus on creative work, relationship building, complex problem solving. It takes the robot out of the human rather than replacing the human with a robot.
That's a great way to frame it. What about privacy, though? If I run a local business, my customer data is my most valuable asset.
Of course.
I can't just hand over my clients' personal emails and purchase histories to some open AI network on the internet.
You absolutely shouldn't. And that's why choosing reputable tools is non-negotiable. Reputable AI platforms encrypt your data and allow you to control exactly who sees it.
Okay.
The key takeaway from the sources here is to look for tools that explicitly state they are GDPR or CCPA compliant.
Just to clarify for anyone who might not be familiar with those acronyms, GDPR is the General Data Protection Regulation in Europe.
Right.
And CCPA is the California Consumer Privacy Act. Basically, the gold standards for strict data privacy laws.
Exactly. If a tool complies with those regulations, it means they have strict protocols for how your personal customer data is handled, stored, and protected. It ensures the AI isn't secretly using your private customer list to train a public model.
Good to know. And finally, the fear of the AI just messing up.
Yeah.
We've all seen the news stories of chatbots going rogue or hallucinating weird facts. Is this thing going to make a mistake and embarrass my business?
It might if you leave it completely unsupervised, but remember the analogy, it's a helper, not the final decision maker.
Right.
Important outputs always need a human review. The AI might draft a brilliant email response to a frustrated customer, but a human being should always be the one to read it over and actually hit send.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because once we get past those initial fears, we can look at how this digital assistant interacts with the outside world.
Yes, the front of house stuff.
Exactly. Let's imagine you own a neighborhood hardware store. Let's call it Oak and Iron Hardware. You're competing with massive big box retailers. How does AI help a local shop like that actually win and keep customers?
Well, let's start with getting people through the door or onto your website. AI fundamentally levels the playing field in marketing.
How so?
It allows a 3-person local team at Oak and Iron to output the personalized, data-driven marketing volume of a 50-person corporate agency.
That is a huge claim.
It is, but here's how it works. For example, instead of you just guessing where to place a local ad and hoping for the best, AI tools examine mountains of demographic data to figure out exactly who in your zip code is most likely to buy a new lawnmower this weekend.
And then it automatically places those targeted ads for you on platforms like Facebook, Google, and Instagram, optimizing the budget in real time.
Right. And if you're struggling with the creative side, say you need an eye-catching graphic for that lawnmower ad, but you don't have a graphic designer on staff.
Which most small hardware stores don't.
Exactly. Tools like Canva Pro or AdCreative.ai can generate professional-level ad copy and images in seconds.
It also takes the guesswork out of what your customers actually care about. If Oak and Iron Hardware wants to start a blog to drive traffic, you don't have to stare at a blank screen.
No, not at all.
The AI can analyze what people in your area are actively searching for online and suggest highly relevant content ideas.
Which ties directly into SEO or search engine optimization. SEO is notoriously tricky and expensive for small businesses to master.
It really is a dark art sometimes.
Truly. But an AI can scan your hardware store's website, identify that you are missing crucial local keywords, and suggest specific tweaks so that when someone Googles snow shovels near me, Oak and Iron appears at the top of the results.
But getting them to your website is only half the battle. You have to keep them happy once they find you. And you can't be awake 24 hours a day.
This is where AI really shines in customer service. And we are not talking about the clunky, frustrating automated phone menus from 10 years ago.
Press 1 for sales, press 2 to pull your hair out.
Exactly. You can embed a highly conversational chatbot on your website using platforms like ChatGPT Business, ManyChat, or Tidio.
So if a customer is on the Oak and Iron website at 2 a.m. trying to figure out if you carry metric wrenches or what your return policy is on power tools, the chatbot answers them instantly, naturally, and accurately.
It's essentially a free night shift employee.
That's incredible.
And it gets even more powerful with email marketing. Let's say you use an AI-integrated platform like MailerLite or Klaviyo. Instead of blasting the exact same generic newsletter to your entire mailing list, the AI analyzes your customers' past buying habits.
Okay.
It can automatically group them and send a tailored email that essentially says, hey, we noticed you bought a lot of gardening supplies last spring. Here is a special early bird discount on our new organic fertilizer.
That kind of hyper-personalization drives massive sales.
Yes.
But doing it manually for 1,000 customers would take weeks. Now, it happens instantly.
What's fascinating here is how AI goes beyond just direct communication and actively manages your reputation. It can monitor online reviews across Yelp, Google, and social media.
Okay, so it flags bad reviews.
It does, but it doesn't just alert you to a new review. It uses something called customer sentiment analysis.
Which means it's not just counting the thumbs up and thumbs down, right? It's actually reading the context of the comments.
Precisely. It analyzes the overall mood of hundreds of scattered comments and emails. It might tell the owner of Oak and Iron, hey, 80% of your customers love your paint matching service, but there is a growing frustration with your limited parking.
Wow.
It takes raw feedback and turns it into actionable business intelligence. It can even tell you what products your customers are wishing you carried, helping you make data-backed decisions on what to stock next.
Okay, so that handles the front of the house, the marketing, the ads, the customer service. But the operation of a business is mostly what happens behind the scenes.
The unglamorous stuff.
Right. Let's shift to the back office. Let's talk about smoothing operations and managing the money, because this is where a small business can really bleed cash if they aren't careful.
Managing supply and staff is a massive headache. If we stick with the Oak and Iron hardware example, inventory is a constant balancing act.
Oh, for sure.
If you overstock snow shovels and it's a mild winter, you lose money. If you run out of rock salt during a blizzard, you lose sales.
So how does the digital assistant fix that?
AI tools integrated into software like QuickBooks Advanced, Zoho Inventory, or TradeGecko handle inventory forecasting. Yeah. The AI looks at your historical sales data, it looks at current market trends, and it can even pull in local weather forecasts.
Weather forecasts.
Yes. It then tells you exactly how much stock you need to keep on hand to meet demand without overspending.
That is incredible. And what about managing the human staff?
It optimizes that too. AI can analyze when your store is historically the busiest, say Saturday mornings in the spring. It cross-references that with your employees' availability and automatically generates the most efficient staff schedule.
So no more overlapping shifts or being understaffed during a rush.
Exactly. Plus, it automates the tedious back-office chores, data entry, generating invoices, or sending follow-up emails for unpaid bills.
Let's talk about those unpaid bills and just the finances in general, because keeping track of cash flow is what keeps owners awake at night.
Think of AI as a tireless financial watchdog. Platforms like Wave, Xero, or FreshBooks use AI to monitor your bank feeds in real time.
Okay.
It tracks your cash flow and sends you a proactive alert if a large vendor bill is coming due and your account balance is projected to be too low to cover it.
It also automatically categorizes your expenses. If you were swiping a business card, the AI knows instantly whether that purchase was office supplies, travel, or a marketing expense.
Right.
You don't have to spend your Sunday afternoon hunched over a spreadsheet trying to remember what a specific receipt from 3 weeks ago was for.
And here's a feature that directly impacts the bottom line: pricing recommendations.
Oh, tell me more about that.
The AI can constantly monitor competitor pricing online and gauge current market demand.
Cool.
It might suggest, hey, your main competitor just raised the price on this specific power drill. You can safely bump your price up by 3% without losing your competitive edge.
Wow.
That is a pure profit margin increase that you would have otherwise completely missed.
Let's not forget about hiring either. If you are running a lean business, you do not have a dedicated HR department. You might be the CEO, the janitor, and the HR director all rolled into one.
Very true.
When you post a job opening, sifting through 200 resumes is exhausting.
AI steps in perfectly here. Tools like Breezy HR or Workable can screen those incoming resumes based on the exact skills you need, instantly highlighting the top 5 candidates.
It saves you hours of reading through totally irrelevant applications.
And once you pick those top candidates, the AI can take over the back and forth email dance of trying to schedule an interview. It cross-references calendars and automatically sends out the meeting links.
That alone saves so much time.
Furthermore, once you actually hire someone, you need to train them. But writing a training manual from scratch takes days.
Definitely.
You can use content generation tools like Jasper AI or WriteSonic to quickly generate customized text or video onboarding guides. Your new employee can get up to speed on the cash register protocols or the return policy at their own pace.
And you don't have to stop your day to hold their hand through every single step.
Exactly.
So what does this all mean?
Yeah.
We just covered a huge amount of ground. We talked about chatbots, inventory forecasters, automated marketing, and resume screeners.
A lot of tools.
I could see a small business owner listening to this and feeling completely overwhelmed by the sheer number of possibilities.
Which is exactly why you cannot try to do everything at once. The most practical takeaway from the research here is a very specific, low-risk blueprint for starting small. It's a 7-step, small-step action plan designed to integrate AI into your workflow without disrupting your entire business.
Let's walk through that 7-step plan, maybe using our hardware store analogy to make it concrete. Step 1 is to pick one single pain point to improve. Don't try to overhaul your whole company. Just pick one frustration.
Right. So maybe Oak and Iron Hardware realizes they have 0 social media presence and they are missing out on younger, first-time homeowners. Their pain point is, we have no time to manage Instagram.
Step 2, set a clear, measurable goal. Do better at Instagram is not a goal.
No, it's not.
Increase our Instagram follower engagement by 20% over the next 2 months to drive weekend foot traffic is a measurable goal.
Step 3 is to choose your tool. You want to find a free or low-cost AI platform that directly addresses that specific goal. For social media scheduling and AI hashtag generation, you might pick a tool like Buffer or Hootsuite.
Step 4 is crucial, and it requires a little bit of discipline. Spend one day learning it.
Yes.
And by one day, we really mean just a few hours. The interfaces for these no-code tools are designed to be user-friendly. Watch the official tutorial videos, which are usually only 5 to 10 minutes long.
Step 5. Run a small test. Do not bet the farm on day 1. For our hardware store, maybe you just use the AI to generate and schedule 3 posts for the upcoming week.
Just to see how it feels.
Exactly. See how the copy reads. See how the system works.
Step 6, measure the results. After a couple of weeks, look at the analytics built right into the tool. Are you getting more likes? Are people clicking the link to your website? Are you actually moving toward that 20% engagement goal?
And finally, step 7, adjust and expand.
Okay.
If the test was a success, fantastic. Scale it up. Maybe start posting 5 times a week or add a chatbot to your website next.
But what if it fails?
If it didn't work, if the engagement didn't change, pivot. You haven't lost a massive investment. You just try a different approach or a different tool.
It really creates a continuous underlying loop, doesn't it? Goal, tool, test, measure, refine.
That's the core loop.
It's a philosophy that keeps costs incredibly low while building your confidence. You aren't replacing your business model. You are just hiring a digital assistant for one very highly defined task.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the success of this entire 7-step plan relies on a couple of vital best practices. You can't just plug the AI in and walk away.
Right, and the biggest rule revolves around data hygiene. There's an old computer science phrase, garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly. AI learns exclusively from what you feed it. If you want the AI to give you brilliant insights on your inventory or your cash flow, your underlying data has to be clean.
That makes perfect sense.
If your spreadsheets are a disorganized mess, if your customer records are full of duplicates and errors, the AI is going to give you terrible suggestions. Tidy data is the absolute prerequisite for good AI insights.
The other crucial best practice is something we touched on earlier, but it deserves a massive spotlight. The human touch.
Yes.
You must never, ever just hit publish on an AI-generated output without reviewing it.
I cannot stress this enough. The AI can write a perfectly grammatically correct email or ad, but it fundamentally lacks your unique perspective, your lived experience, and your specific brand identity.
Right, because if you aren't careful, the AI might accidentally send a hyper-formal, robotic-sounding promotional email to your own mother.
Or offer a discount code that completely undercuts your profit margin.
Oh, that would be a nightmare.
It happens more often than you'd think. You or a trusted team member always need to double-check the language, verify the pricing, and ensure the tone matches your business.
So you still need the human element.
Always. The human touch is where the actual connection happens. Think of the AI as providing the rough draft. You are the editor-in-chief who adds the final polish.
AI is a smart sidekick. That really is the bottom line of everything we've discussed today.
It really is.
It is a powerful digital assistant that saves you time, cuts your operational costs, and opens up channels for growth that used to be reserved for massive corporations with endless budgets. By handing off the routine, tedious tasks, you are finally freeing yourself up to focus on the big ideas and the personal relationships that make your company unique.
It is a profound paradigm shift. Small teams can now punch way, way above their weight class.
So here is our call to action for you. Carve out just 2 to 3 hours sometime this week. Identify your single biggest operational pain point. Write down one clear, measurable goal. Grab one of the free or low-cost AI tools we discussed, and just run a small pilot test. Just try it.
This raises an important question.
What's that?
As you start implementing this technology and looking toward the future, consider this. If AI eventually becomes the standard for handling all the routine marketing, the data analysis, the inventory forecasting, and the scheduling for every small business out there,
Which seems inevitable.
what uniquely human trait or what specific creative spark will become your business's ultimate competitive advantage?
Wow. That is a brilliant thought to leave on. When everyone has the same digital assistant, your humanity is what sets you apart. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. We hope it demystified the tech a bit, gave you some practical strategies, and inspired you to take that first small step. We'll catch you next time.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep. Thank you for listening to today's podcast. Please feel free to click on the link in the description below to discover more podcasts.